What is up, everybody? Happy Friday! Welcome to the D&D Sports Show. I'm Daniel,
And I'm David.
and we had a couple games going on tonight, and we had Thursday night football last night. We're going to talk some college football preview this weekend, and we're going to try a new segment later on in the show just to see what you guys think about it. So why don't we kick it right off and go straight into some Thursday night football?
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting game between two teams who are really struggling in the NFC East. Um, Obviously, the game was kind of highlighted by a long touchdown run that was negated by a blade of grass that tripped up Daniel Jones, as well as the late game heroics from Carson Wentz to will his team back when he was down 11 points with 5 minutes to go. So my takeaways from this game: you cannot trust Eagles receiver in fantasy, and there's absolutely no reason to trust the Giants running back with Saquon being out.
100% agree. I mean, everybody was riding Devontae Freeman hard, like going into this week, like, hey, he's gonna have a great game, solid game. He was gonna have 8 total yards, and then gets hurt towards the end of the fourth quarter. Um, you're having a rough night when your lead rusher is your quarterback who had 4 carries for 92 yards, and one of those was an 80-yard run where he spent about 10 yards falling before he finally decided to hit the ground. Um, so my takeaways is this whole Giants offense is struggling hardcore. I mean, Daniel Jones went 20 for 30, 187 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception against not a great defense from Philadelphia. I mean, I guess you have to give credit to the Eagles defense for showing up in a game where they beat a 1-5 team by 1 point. I mean, I don't really know where to go with this game because there wasn't really many good takeaways.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna take obviously you're gonna have to take advantage of every game that you play in this division. When you play against your division opponents. So the Philadelphia Eagles obviously I would like to use the word escaped with a victory, because it's kind of it was definitely not a pretty game by any means.
No, not at all. But I would like to say Carson Wentz did actually look relatively well during this game. I mean, he struggled early, don't get me wrong, but 359, 2 touchdowns, interception. I mean, he put up yards. He just, you know, he struggled. He wasn't making really crisp passes. He got away with some things that probably could have been picked. But QBR 55, I mean, yeah, he can throw for yards, but he's not doing anything to further his team to win games, which is why they are 2-4-1.
Yeah, and it's never easy when you can't really get the running game going. Obviously, the loss of Miles Sanders was very evident in this game. The running back situation for all of the NFC East teams kind of in limbo after this weekend, was Zeke having those fumbling issues and Miles Sanders being out, Saquon obviously going down early this season, and then who are they going to play in Washington is the big decision week in and week out. So it's going to be one of those things that they're going to have to figure out. Somebody's going to have to just buck up and take the lead here. I think with the loss of Dak to the Cowboys, I really think that this is Philadelphia's division, and I think that they have to figure out a way to, bring the defense week in and week out. Because if they had a defense, the last few weeks, they'd be sitting at probably 4-3, maybe. Definitely would not be 2-4-1.
But after watching this Eagles team, given that this whole NFC East division plays out the way we think it's going to play out, do the Eagles have a chance to maybe squeak out of this division with a title this year?
I think I think the huge game in here, and obviously it's only huge because it ended the way that it did, but them playing for the tie, I think that in the ultimate scheme of things might come down in the wire and might give them the edge over a team who maybe lost a close game. like when the Cowboys lost, against Cleveland. I think, like those close games. I know that in theory we all were pissed off at the Philadelphia for not going for it, at least trying a field goal with Jake Elliott, who actually forgot to mention kind of struggled in this game. So with that being said, I do think that the Eagles sneak into the playoffs, and I'm gonna just take a stab and say they go 7-8-1, I guess. It just can't. It's not going to be much higher than that. Maybe flip it. It could be 8-7-1, but definitely no higher than 8-7-1.
Well, maybe further down the road, we're talking about how this tie actually could have played an advantage to them getting into the playoffs. But the last thing I want to touch on about this game is Deshaun Jackson. Obviously, hopefully he recovers well. Was carted off in the fourth quarter last night. Did not return obviously to the game. I hope he recovers well and he gets back on that field soon enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's one of those really streaky players who, it depends on his injury status, and how his body's holding up, because he can be a really explosive weapon in the pass game. But unfortunately, with just the way that the season's gone, he hasn't really been able to live up to that potential that he has in the past. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, the two takeaways, just to reiterate them: don't trust the Eagles receiver, and definitely do not trust a Giants running back.
All right. Well, going from the Thursday night Skunker game to Game 3 of the World Series tonight. What were your takeaways from Game 2?
Watching game 2, it finally got the offense that I've seen the Rays use to, beat opponents in this playoffs have finally kind of caught up to them. It was good to see Brandon Lowe kind of get his footing here in this World Series early. I know that he's going to be a really huge factor for their success. He's always been able to always been able to kind of hit in that fourth position. So it's going to be important for them, the top 4 or 5 batters to figure it out for Tampa in order for them to have a chance. But I'd like to flip it real quick on the other side of things. I will say, even though it was a losing effort, the Dodgers did struggle early, and I think that that's going to be important. Who's going to step up? Is Walker Buehler going to step up in Game 3 and give them a quality start? But if you get to the bullpen early, this bullpen is not going to be able to hold up. In my opinion.
Yeah, and this game turned into, and I kind of, once I saw the game progress, I kind of expected this actually to be a bullpen game, and that's what we got. Um, they were trying to give uh, some key pitchers in, try just to test out how they would handle Tampa Bay's lineup, and we learned some key matchups that we're going to see later on in the series that are going to come down to the seventh, eighth, and ninth that will be vital to which team comes out on top at the end of this World Series. But I'm very interested to see how Walker Buehler pitches tonight. I think he right now is their number one starter over Kershaw. He has looked more crisp and sharp in the postseason than Kershaw has. And on the flip side, Charlie Morton is going to the hill for Tampa. So I think just in this pitching standoff alone, I think Walker Buehler does have the edge tonight. But like you said, when you're these offenses have to get going quickly and fast. So jump on the pitches early, jump on the pitchers, first, second inning, try to get into that Dodgers bullpen. I think the Rays might have figured something out second game too.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the biggest issue is who's going to show up and who's going to perform on a certain day. As you've seen from the past, anybody can really be the hero, especially in the World Series. The most unlikely of characters. So, which is going to be interesting to see. I hope to see. I hope to see everybody kind of get the ball rolling. Um, hopefully we'll see a more balanced attack from Tampa today. I know that they obviously kind of use the long ball to their advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see. With that being said, that's all I really got to talk about this game, because it's really just a coin flip series. Like like I said coming into this, it's really anybody's game. I mean, Dodgers obviously have the experience, and the I guess they would have the advantage. Obviously they had the better record in the regular season, the big free agent signings and everything that they always have year in and year out. But I mean, this Rays team is just finding a way to just stick around and make this thing a series. So I mean, it's really hard not to root them on.
And they get it done in the exact opposite way that every other team of this caliber, plays ball. Everyone goes for the long ball. The Rays, my favorite thing when I was learning baseball was you hit home runs by accident. You make good contact, you're aiming for doubles. Home runs happen on accident. So I think this is the philosophy that the Rays have. They're aiming for, they're going to single you or double you to death. If they hit a home run, good. That's not what they wanted to do, but it works to their advantage. They're playing small ball, and I think that is a lost art in this in the MLB these days. And it's nice to see a team go back to the basics and just show you that they can still be productive and play at high levels of baseball through this type of style.
Yeah, and it's a good switch up from the normal, the perennial contenders who rely on the long ball, like the Astro teams of the past, the Red Sox, even dating back all the way to when the Cubs made that run to the World Series. It's always been the long ball. It's just how the league is really developed. A lot of GMs give the players opportunity. You can go up there and strike out, a million times, and as long as you hit a million home runs, it's you're gonna have a starting position, because the long ball is so important in this league. So it's nice to see them taking advantage of singles, doubles, not trying to do too much. I thought that at bat by Wendell in the sixth, I don't know if you caught that, but where he just took what he could get. He got the sacrifice fly and to bring in the sixth, that extra insurance run that ultimately really helped them. So it'll be interesting to see how if that continues for them, if they can continue to get to Walker Buehler early. I think that there's no reason that the Rays can't get to him early. But they have to hit him early and often. If he starts getting into a roll 3-4 innings into the game, it's going to be a tough road for them.
Yes, but this is the swing game. This is what the momentum rides on. A win in Game 3 really could propel you to maybe take this in 5. We don't know. It just all dependent on you win tonight, you carry that momentum. Game 4, you start rolling. Maybe y'all find a groove, and it just plays out better for you. Or we could see this go all the way to 7, which I think is best for everybody because it'll really get to show the how deep each team is able to carry the series.
Yeah, but look forward to watching it. Game 3 does go on tonight. First pitch is slated for 7:08 Central Time, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, and I know you've been dying to get up on some college football, so why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, it's a big weekend for college. Huge weekend. Big Ten returns to the gridiron. It's always interesting to see them talk so highly of Big Ten football. Defense, all this, and I always love seeing the Big Ten teams fall short year in and year out. So that being said, it does bring some intriguing matchups with it. We're just going to start rolling through the Big Ten matchups. One of them that I want to talk about, and there's not a lot of people are talking about this, is this Penn State Indiana game. Now, I know that a lot of people have never really been, obviously Indiana not really known for, more probably known for their basketball program than their football program, but it's going to take Penn State playing at an elite level to beat this Indiana team, because I've seen this Indiana team in the past, and I know that I think they kind of had a little bit of a heavy turnover, as well as they've lost a few guys to injuries during their workouts and everything. But this team has always played people tough. I think that this is kind of one of those. I'm not going to put Penn State on upset alert, but I'm going to say this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think, in my opinion. This is one of my I would call it my intriguing game of the weekend. Because I think this Penn State team has a lot to prove. They always get rated high. They've never been able to finish a season. So let's see what they can do. I mean, I think last season they only beat Indiana by 7. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they can prove us wrong.
And yeah, Penn State hasn't really been around the top end of college football in almost a decade, I think, maybe. And so coming out into this season, they might be already out their top running back of the season. We'll see how that plays into this game. I mean, they are ranked top 10, so obviously they have. I'm excited to see this defense. They've had a lot of talk about that secondary that should be able to lock down any kind of deep routes or slot passes. So, I'm gonna catch this game on, and we're gonna move on.
All right, and we'll stick with the Big Ten. There's a few more matchups that are pretty intriguing. You have Ohio State getting their, I would call this a warm up game against Nebraska. I know that there's a lot of high expectations for Justin Fields this year, projected to be the top 2 quarterbacks taken between him and Trevor Lawrence. Especially with Trey Lance sitting out. This is kind of a very important season for him. If he can come out, show that he solidify himself as the second best quarterback coming out of the draft, who knows if Trevor Lawrence does decide to sit out, then you never know. We could be talking about Justin Fields going to the New York Jets,
which that'll be an interesting fit for any quarterback that decides to take that chance.
Yeah.
That's how we'll say that. But the game I'm most intrigued about this week is this Iowa State Oklahoma State. I know we kind of previewed it last week, saying if Oklahoma State won, this would be their test, and it's here, and it's going to be a slobber knocker, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm a big I don't often cheer for teams who are in the same conference as my favorite teams, but I am a big fan of Mr. Brock Purdy, the quarterback for Iowa State. He's one of those guys where I mean his completion percentage is kind of lower than a lot of the name quarterbacks that you'll hear, but I mean, right now they're coming in averaging about 30 a game. I think that they're really if they really want to win this game, they're gonna have to get the pass game going. I think that this game will all depend on how Brock Purdy plays. He played phenomenal against Oklahoma and Texas Tech and TCU. Kind of really important for him to get it going. Obviously, started the season with a tough loss. It really bounced back. I mean, I don't know if you got to watch them week 1 when they played Louisiana, but they really bounced back that against TCU and then kept that momentum going. And I mean, I know that the ESPN's power index says that they have a 26% chance, but I give them more of a 40% chance. This Iowa State team is no joke. They're gonna be a spoiler, I'm sure. I don't think that any team from the Big 12, and I'll say it right now, no Big 12 team makes the college football playoff, even though they play more games than the Big 10. If you have a Ohio State team sitting there with like even 1 loss in their schedule, I could totally see them making it over a 1 to 2 loss Big 12 team.
Yeah, and that just comes down to power index and being one of the top end, high end tiers of schools that play college football. But I want to mention I'm really excited to watch Xavier Hutchinson in this game. he has been on a hot streak as of late, especially in the month of October. I mean, he has over 300 yards currently in the past two games. So we'll see if he can torch some of this Oklahoma State defense because I mean him and Mr. Purdy have quite the chemistry going, and I think they're going to carry this through this game and project them over Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and just flipping it to the other side, basically the it's a tale of two teams. You have the one, the Iowa State team who really relies on the arm of Brock Purdy to win them games. And then you flip it to Oklahoma State, who has Chuba Hubbard, which is one of the best running back names in college football. And I mean they kind of they live and die by him. A lot of people, when he decided to come back, it was a or not excuse me, whenever he was healthy this year, it was kind of interesting to see his progression throughout the years, and he's really kind of solidified himself as one of the Big 12 backs who, I mean, Big 12 is really not known for their rushing attacks usually, but I mean, he's definitely one to keep your eye on come late season. If he keeps trending upwards, they could be one of those names that you're talking about for the Heisman.
That's respectable. Why don't we take it to a team we haven't really talked much about this college season, but someone that's really not playing great football. They managed to keep squeaking by games, and that is Notre Dame. What do you think about their play so far this season?
Well, Notre Dame finally, listened to everybody who's ever told them anything and decided to, schedule some conference games with them joining the ACC. It's a really good for them. Unfortunately, that means that they have to go up against Clemson and against a couple of teams who are kind of under the under everybody's radar as well in the ACC. But this Notre Dame team, it's always interesting to put your faith in a Notre Dame team because every year you put your faith in them. They find a way to win some games. Like I mean, they really haven't played anybody yet. Obviously they killed USF. They played Duke fairly close. FSU they beat by 2 touchdowns, and then they squeaked out a win against Louisville. It's going to be this Pitt team is no joke. I mean, they may have a 3-3 record, but that 3-3 record also includes a win over Louisville by 3 points, which is only, obviously 1 point less than what Notre Dame did. They lost in overtime to Boston College. They lost to a ranked NC State team, and then they also lost to a ranked Miami team. So this Pitt team is no joke. This is one of those games where, on paper it looks like Notre Dame should roll over them, but I think this is another game that's just like I was talking about with that Indiana team. I think it's one of those games that's going to be a lot closer than people think. And, if it's a close game late, I mean, Kenny Pickett, the senior has something to prove this year. So, he's got to win these close games since they're coming off of that overtime or the last close game they played was that overtime game. I think Pitt should be confident going into this game.
Should we be on upset alert for this game?
I don't like, calling all of these, ranked games, but this season, with how the season just is structured and everything, I mean, you got all these ranked teams that haven't even played a game. I mean, I think it'd be more important to make the list of people who aren't on upset alert. You got like Clemson is not really, Kansas State's not on upset alert. Alabama. Man, there's just, everybody else though, with it, just the way the season's been going. I mean, I wouldn't put Miami on upset alert. But I mean, any of the other ranked teams could lose at any given week.
Yeah, and like you were saying, the whole upset alert in this season, and that's going to lead me into our next game, because you wouldn't really expect this to be considered an upset alert because this number 9 Cincinnati team is only 3-0, but this number 16 SMU is 5-0. So you know, how Cincinnati is actually ranked higher than SMU currently is probably just based off of the strength of schedule, which still I'm not sure if that's even correct. But would this even be considered an upset if SMU wins?
It's I would not necessarily consider either of these team losing, or I mean, obviously the higher ranked team losing in this game an upset. With this early season, anytime two ranked opponents go against each other, unless there's a clear significant talent gap where towards the end of the season where you have like maybe an 8-3 team who's sitting there ranked 24th in the nation versus like a number 2, number 3 team who's undefeated. So like these early games between undefeated teams, you really can't say that they're on upset alert. Like I said, with this game, I'm still rolling with my boys. Like I said, SMU is definitely my second favorite team. Um, the place where Texas quarterbacks go to finish their careers. Um, I mean, Cincinnati is obviously going to be favored in this, but I think that they've been kind of turnover prone in their first few games. And I think that SMU's defense is definitely going to take advantage of that. And I think that they find a way, especially, there's a lot of pressure on them, coming off 2 back-to-back 3-point victories. I think it's important for SMU to strike early and often. And I think that Shane will make sure that happens.
Okay. Um, and there's just a couple games I want to catch back up on, and one being this NC State North Carolina in-state rivalry game. Um, what are your thoughts on these two teams playing?
Well, last week, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to talk about this North Carolina team. And last week, ironically is the week that I picked them to lose, and I was going to put them on upset alert. But you kind of just didn't even talk about them. But like I said, I think that this North Carolina team is definitely, because of the lack of Pac-12 teams. They can't ride the coattails of Oregon and USC until they're like have like 5 losses and they finally take them out of the top 25. They can't do that this year, so they have to put some teams who normally wouldn't be in there, which is why you see all these ACC teams. Yeah, obviously all of these Big Ten teams, if they win, the first game, they'll probably be thrown into the top 25. Um, there's a lot of teams who you just wouldn't expect to be there. Virginia Tech probably won't be there very much longer. The ranking system is definitely like a little fluky right now. I like this NC State team as well, but I also don't think they really deserve to be where they're at right now. I mean, they definitely have a better game. Like they have a better. I mean, they lost to a ranked Virginia Tech team, but that same Virginia Tech team got beat by North Carolina. So it's one of those coin flip games. I got North Carolina getting back in the W column, but it's going to be one of those coin flip games. It could go either way.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say North Carolina is gonna edge this one out. I say they win by 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to start out close, but I think North Carolina is going to find their groove and just kind of pull away towards halftime, and then once second half starts, it just becomes 2 touchdown game the rest of this way. Now, probably the most anticipated game this weekend, I think you could agree with this, is the Michigan Minnesota game.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with obviously Big Ten coming back. Two fairly decent teams that have had a success in the last few years. Obviously, this is kind of a huge game for Michigan because they don't win here, they're not going to make the college football playoff. I'll say that right now because there's no way that they're going to beat Ohio State until they get rid of Coach Harbaugh. But I think that when it comes down to this game, it's going to be who can figure out how to slow down the other's rushing attack. And I think that, Big Ten has always been preached, defense, defense, defense. And I think it's going to be very, very, very important in this game with Minnesota relying on the ground game to really get that play action pass going that was made them so successful last year. So I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go with Minnesota just because I've always known Michigan to choke games that they're supposed to win. So you know what? I'll go Minnesota. And I'll phrase that. I'm picking Minnesota because my roommate is from Minnesota.
Oh, well, that really sways it in his favor, doesn't it? I mean, but no, I think Minnesota probably this is their game to lose. My opinion. I mean, they have Tanner Morgan coming back as quarterback, Rodney Smith coming back as rushing guards. Both had pretty good seasons last year. However, I do think that the main focus should be on this receiving core. I mean, last season you had two receivers go for almost 1,500 yards. That is something you don't really see is having a number one and number two receiver in college football. Usually you just hear about the number one receiver going for 200 yards a game or something like that. But the fact that you have two receivers that can get it done for you makes this offense kind of sort of more balanced than most attacks as you see. And I mean, this defense is still they have 10 returning players coming back, and I think they're really going to make a difference this season for them. But all right, what other games you got going on this
So
weekend?
I would like to, maybe with the weird season that we're having, I'm gonna make this kind of a weekly thing on Fridays. Is we're
Okay.
going to pick one team that nobody has probably heard anything about and talk about them. And I think we're both in agreement this week that when you click on ESPN tab, go to the the NCAA football tab, and you click on it, and you look at the top 25 teams and you're scrolling through, you see Wisconsin, you see Clemson, North Carolina, Ohio State, and then you have this team called Coastal Carolina University.
I was just covering that team.
And obviously with the lack of schedule for the Pac-12 and Big 10, they have an opportunity to be ranked. And like this team is definitely no joke. It's sitting there ranked at 25 with them beating who many thought was a dark horse in the bowl game for that big time bowl game was this Louisiana team. So this Coastal Carolina team is very interesting. For those of you who don't know, Coastal Carolina not really known for their football team very often. Would
That's
be
a
known for
baseball college.
if you've heard the name, you've heard the baseball team who have recently had a lot of success. But this team's averaging 40 points a game. They're really moving the ball. Specifically through the air. A lot of the success, I would say, falls on Grayson McCall, their quarterback. But he is a freshman, so that also has to play into account with predicting future games. But I mean, if you look ahead at their schedule, I mean, I don't see a whole lot that could really stop them. I think the only thing that can stop them at this point is themselves. Maybe that Appalachian State game, because Appalachian State usually plays really 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 well, and they obviously they're not ranked because they had a tough loss to Marshall is now ranked at 22. So it's I think there's no reason why Coastal Carolina couldn't run the table. But I'd like to hear your opinion on what you think of this Coastal Carolina team. I know that I've only been able to catch one of their games because they're not really televised. But now that they're top 25, hey, they're
They might
making
be on
they're on
TV.
ESPNU this weekend, so I can
Right.
watch them.
I haven't, like you said, I haven't really caught the games, but after looking up, I did review some of their highlights and watched a couple of their games back. I really do like how this offense runs. Um, they're more of a shotgun type offense. They don't really line up normal. Um, they do a lot of wheel routes and a lot of deep slots. However, I think that they will. I think they're the only way they don't run the table is if the injury bug hits. And I really hope that doesn't happen now after I talk about this, because if it does, y'all can blame me for what happens next. But I do think that obviously we know they're not getting into a playoff game. Let's just be honest here. but I think they're gonna make it into a higher bowl game due to them finishing unbeaten. I think the game I would circle might be this. I think it's Liberty. Yeah, if both teams play the way that they're playing right now, this their final game of their schedule is going to be a battle of two unbeaten's, and Liberty just happens to be not ranked currently.
Yeah, I think the reason why Liberty isn't quite ranked yet is they have a slate of games. Not obviously not this weekend, but they have a slate of games where in 3 back-to-back weeks they have Virginia Tech. They have Virginia Tech, Western Carolina, who is yet to kick off their season, but has always been a relatively competitive team. With the exclusion of, I think they played Bama last year and they got whooped, but obviously it's Bama, so that's understandable. But they've been competitive, and then they have NC State. So I think, between the two teams, obviously Liberty has the tougher schedule, so they should be prepared for that week 11 matchup. But we'll have to see. But that's I just wanted to give a little love to the teams that you may not have heard of. From the gridiron, and I think that's those are pretty much the main games. You have a few games, the other ranked teams that are playing. Miami, who's playing a Virginia team who has definitely struggled to live up to their preseason hype.
Kansas State's playing Kansas. I mean,
Kansas is
that
Kansas
should
football.
be
I love Kansas football. Les Miles. I really thought he was the answer, but he's just proven that obviously it's really hard to recruit to a basketball school. And then I did mention earlier that Clemson plays Syracuse, but that's another one. It's like, and I hope they prove me wrong, but it's almost not even worth the time.
Now we're going to be talking about this Marshall team, but this Marshall team has to keep winning to keep up their morale. But I think this might be the week that it all comes crashing down.
Florida Atlantic, old FAU, is a very intriguing team. It's been a hot minute since we've seen them play. With them having the off week because the Southern Miss got postponed because of coronavirus, and their first 2 games of the season got postponed. So this is a FAU team who had a no joke season last year. I mean, they're coming off of, they beat this SMU team. It's going to be a really interesting matchup, and I agree with you though. I think that the Marshall Thundering Herd comes crashing down. Because I mean, this team is coming off last season where they lost 3 games. They lost to a ranked UCF team, a ranked Ohio State team, and they lost to them by 24. And they lost to this Marshall team. But I think that they get revenge. They had a really good season last year, finished 11-3. I think that they're going to get that revenge this week and find a way to come out of there with a victory.
But well, you got any other games you want to talk about?
No, got to cheer on the boys across the river though. So I'm going to be rooting for Illinois to get that upset against Wisconsin. But obviously, like I said, it's really not an upset because they haven't played a game yet. So that's one game that is going to be intriguing. I know that Illinois is only favored 6%, but hey, you're telling me there's a chance.
I got a rhetorical question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Texas or Baylor?
I think Texas will get back in the W column. I don't think that I don't think they'll let them go down like that. A lot of people have them running the table, or trying to run the table anyway, because I know that they're going to blow a game late in the season like they always do. But they're going to try to run the table and possibly make the number 4 seed in the playoff tournament. So every week I'm going to pick Texas, even if they're not favored or, because I'm a fan. So, but with that being said, it's, it depends on what Texas team shows up, and hopefully our defense gets healthy in the next few weeks so we can actually start competing with these good offenses. like when we got exposed against Oklahoma. So I think that's going to wrap it up for our college football minute. We're going to transition into our new little way to spice up our Friday episode since there's not a whole lot to talk about. We're going to do some Friday trivia. And so the way this is going to work is we are going to each answer the question, obviously, and whoever gets the most right at the end of it is going to be the winner, and we'll just keep track of it week by week, and we'll see who has the most victories come the end of the year. So we'll restart the records in December, and we'll see who can do it. So
we did. Let's just do a practice. We'll do a practice question, as you can tell by the first question on my screen.
So yeah, the way it works is like we would both answer this question. And we both pick our answer, and then he will obviously click on the answer that he thinks it is, and we'll see who is right.
All right, so we're both gonna answer first before I click. That way, it's fair. Is that cool?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, before you, don't click until after we both guess. Yeah.
All right, so what Chicago Bears running back was known as the Galloping Ghost?
I would like to know the person who guesses Jim Brown, and I would like to hunt you down and find you and just make you go watch Jim Brown highlights and tell me when that man was A, called the Galloping Ghost, and B, put on the Chicago Bears uniform.
All right, well, I'm going to go with Harold Grange.
Yeah, well, obviously, because he's not Sweetness. I'll tell you that right now.
That's fair. And then? That is correct.
And then that'll pop up with the check. We got it right. All right.
All right, if you get it wrong, it gives you a little...
Yep.
X. So, all right. Question number 2. What pitcher holds the record for most complete games in an MLB career?
Okay. We'll alternate going first. So, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Nolan Ryan, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going Nolan Ryan as well.
All right.
If it's not him, it's Roy Halladay.
Answer
says... I feel like it got broken recently.
Oh, we're both wrong.
Yeah, I feel like it got broken recently.
So maybe and when we're both wrong, we're just gonna try it.
No. All right, there's Don Sutton. It wasn't Cy Young, was it? It was Cy Young. Oh my goodness.
Well, we are failures right now.
I didn't think Cy Young. Oh man, 749 complete games. Holy cow! I guess that's before they really gave him an innings limit. Oh okay. Man, I never knew.
We need to regroup. That was
a bad start. All right. Yeah.
Whew, okay.
0 for 3 in that one.
What was the biggest margin of victory ever in a Triple Crown race? Oh, crud.
Horse racing. I love this. Okay. I'm actually, for those of you who don't know this, I'm actually very invested in the horse racing. And eventually, whenever I get a more stable, income, Matt might get into that industry. Man, so I'm going 18 because I think that I have this weird feeling that, these races are always close, but I think that 18 lengths probably happened in like a muggy conditions, mud. I'm going 18.
I'm going to go 25. So 18, right. We're going to go 18 first. All right, 25.
Oh my goodness. Boy, this is a rough one. And 31, of course, it's a long one. Oh, it's the Secretariat. I should have known. Oh,
wow. All right.
Greatest races of all times. How did I not know the 1973 Belmont Stakes?
For those of you watching, y'all can laugh at us because we're doing great right now.
Okay.
All right. Question number 4. What coach came off the bench to play for his team in the Stanley Cup Finals? I think it was Dick Irvin.
I think it's Lester Patrick.
All right. Dick Irvin? I'm incorrect. Lester Patrick? Okay. David has 1. I have 0.
For the Rangers.
Question number 5. What NFL player returned a fumble 66 yards to the wrong end zone?
Yeah, now it's down. Now, so obviously it's me first, and so it's Jim Marshall.
That's who I was leaning towards. All right.
Yeah, because Leon Lett, he had the famous Don Beebe chased him down and punched the ball out of the end zone on his because he started celebrating too early, as well as the blocked field goal that he tried to recover that turned into the Dolphins game-winning field goal. Yeah, so he's done a lot of really stupid stuff, but this one, Leon Lett, you're not off the hook. You're not, on the hook for it.
All right. And the answer is Jim Marshall. All right. David has 2 points. I have 1.
He tossed the ball out of bounds, though, so it did not result in a touchdown. So just like to clarify that.
Question number 6. Who was the only person in NBA history to be named MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year?
Well.
This could only be two. This could only be.
If you think about it, they can only be one, actually.
Well, if it's see.
No, I'm not. I just kind of helped you, but no. It's a little friendly competition. I'm up 1, right?
Yeah, you're up 1.
The score's like what, 2-1?
It's 2-1. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Is it my turn to go first?
Yeah, I believe it's yours. Sorry.
I'm gonna go Phil Jackson.
Yeah, it has to be Phil Jackson. Larry Bird never was a coach of the year. I know he was executive of the year. Michael Jordan is an abysmal executive, and he was never a coach. And Bill Russell, I do not believe ever coached. Might have been wrong. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, and we're finding out.
I see. Phil Jackson wasn't an MVP though. That's the thing. Larry Bird was a coach.
Indiana Pacers.
He was the head coach. I didn't know he was a coach. I knew that he was the executive president of basketball operations for the Pacers. I didn't know he coached. To be fair, he coached when Jordan, just got done playing. So I was 1, 2, and 3. So give me a little bit of slack on that one. But yeah,
learning new things today.
I didn't even know that. I knew. See, the thing is, Phil Jackson, I don't think was a very good basketball player. I mean, he might have been. Sorry, Phil Jackson fans out there, but I don't think he had a good career to be an MVP.
Some of these questions are questions I never thought about until today. Question number 7? What is the PGA record for highest score on a par 4? I believe you are first this question.
I'm gonna go 13. I think I just feel like, I don't know. The reason why I'm picking 13 is because, if you ever play the golfing games, they stroke you out at plus 10. So I'm gonna go with 13.
I'm gonna go 10. I think I'm gonna go under, see if it works. All right.
And it's got to be 16 then. Kevin Na played the worst hole ever, making a 16 on a 9th hole at the Texas Open. That would be a Kevin Na thing to do. And I'm not a golf fan. I watched Tiger and Jordan Spieth. And Jordan Spieth is only because he's from the University of Texas. Those are the only 2 golfers I care about. If everybody else, Dustin Johnson, I think he's probably the world number 1 right now. So congratulations.
All right. So heading into question 8. You have a score of 2, and I have a score of 1.
All right. Hey, wait. Plenty of life left. We got 3 questions left. Anybody's
all right. Question 8. What country won the first World Cup?
All right. This is you.
I'm gonna say Argentina. I think there could be only 2 answers, but we've also been wrong a lot today.
I could see. So I'm not an avid soccer fan, as many of you guys have probably already know this. And I only watch, World Cup. I watch Bayern Munich, and pretty much that's about it. And maybe during the Olympics. But I think because of the way soccer is, I have this weird feeling that the first World Cup happened and it was like a Europe team. So I'm going Switzerland.
You're going Switzerland? All right.
Yeah.
Argentina? Incorrect.
And it's probably Brazil because they've been a powerhouse for years. But
Switzerland? Incorrect. Brazil?
Uruguay, you know what? It would have been the last one I would have guessed. They beat Argentina, so you're close.
I was in the
In the first World Cup,
1930.
spectators 4-2 in a rematch of the 1928 Olympic gold medal. Of course, Uruguay was a powerhouse in the 1928.
Who would have thunk it?
I didn't.
All right. Question 9. What year did China win its first Olympic medal? This is going to be basically a guess and a shot in the dark here.
I'm going to see. I have this weird feeling, with everything that was going on with them. I have this gut feeling, 52. I don't think it was I don't think it was 36. It's just too early.
I'm going 1968.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably wrong.
If I'm not right, you're right. I don't think it's 80. It couldn't be 84. There's no way. I mean, I know they're like the biggest. They're the biggest country, but I know they're just historically until recently they've been really bad at things. But then they take like 13-year-olds and put them in gymnastics and they win. So
see, I wish they told us what Olympics,
what the sport it was.
But yeah, whether it was summer or winter.
Okay, that's fair. But I don't think they would win a winter. I mean, hey, you never know. Like maybe
1952 is incorrect.
It's 84, wasn't it? It was 84. Yeah, see, look at that. That's what I'm saying. They win 101 medals now. It's like, what the heck? So they win. It was single medal until 84. That's crazy.
All right, heading into question 10. You still have a score of 2.
Thank God I don't have to answer first on this one.
And I have a score of 1.
Mm-hmm.
I already know what my answer is. But question 10. Who hit an underhand serve to defeat Ivan Lendl for the 1989 French Open title? My answer, Jim Courier. And I'm actually fairly confident in this answer.
Interesting. Well, that kind of, you're interested. You're very. There's something that's just telling me to take Mats. I think it's Mats Wilander.
Mats Wilander?
Yeah.
All right. And the answer is? Oh, I probably should stop answering questions. All right.
Michael Chang, of course it is. The teenager Michael Chang. Who would have thought it? And after an abysmal round 1, I'm up, what, 2-1?
2-1.
All right. This is the second and final round. Double the points. Here we go.
All right. Question 11.
Oh.
Who is the most decorated Olympian of all time?
Oh, man. I think this has got to be Mary Lou Retton, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's actually me first, so I'm going to go with Michael Phelps.
Of all time, though.
Oh, it could be a Russian. That Russian dude, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it. Didn't say American. I'm assuming he's Russian, by the way. Sorry for all the Russian viewers out there. Pavo just has this away.
All right, you know what?
I'm gonna go the homeboy, Michael Phelps. I don't know. I'm just going Phelps. It's probably Pavo because but I know it's not the other two. I know what they're famous for, but it's not them.
I'm gonna go Michael Phelps as well. Why not? All right. Good call.
Yeah. All-time record. I thought he held he held the Olympic record for most Olympics. So medals. So I assume that you can't be a more decorated Olympian than the Olympic record holder.
However, the thing that threw me off though was the word. It was just Olympian.
I was like, oh yeah, this Pavo dude's probably like a 1920s
Well, this is probably fucking.
Yeah. Easy right. Enough. All right. Well, so we both got it right. So I got 4 points.
Still up by 1.
Yep, 4-3.
No, it's 3-2.
No, it's double points.
Oh, double points for this round. You're right.
Yes.
Question 12. What MLB player retired with the same number of home runs as his father? Ooh.
I think I don't have to answer this one first because I think I know what it is, but I also don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Roberto Alomar.
Prince Fielder.
Okay, and the survey says
Due to injury, he finished with the same amount as his father. Cecil.
okay. It is now.
Whoa. Yep. It is 6'3".
Great.
It's my actual height, guys. 6'3".
Question 13. Which of the following NFL coaches has the best playoff record?
I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson because I feel like he was alive during the dynasty, and I think that they basically won, if not made it to the NFC Championship game that whole time. I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson. See, I don't know how they do. I don't know how they do best. If they do most wins, obviously it's very clear. But I think best would be the fewest losses, in my opinion, the best win ratio. So I'm gonna go Jimmy Johnson.
I'm gonna go Belichick.
It's probably Belichick. They're probably going based on fucking wins. So, Barry Switzer 5. Oh my God, he's 5-2. Of course, it's the coach who's only made it twice. Okay, cool. He has a better winning position. That shouldn't even count. You should have to have a minimum of 10 games. Come on, get out of here. Jimmy Johnson did have I was gonna say he's close.
All right, question 14.
So frustrating. All right.
Who was the first NFL running back to finish the season with 10 or more carries and gain negative yards? I think I do know this answer.
I probably do. I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. This is yours. I BS Jimmy Johnson last time.
I think it's Darren McFadden.
Something tells me that it was him, and I feel like didn't he get drafted to Oakland?
Yes.
Yeah, so I could definitely see it being him. Reggie Bush. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. He could have gotten injured. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's Darren McFadden. If it's not him, because I know Kajani Carter was terrible, but I don't think he was the first. I don't think he went negative. Was it Bush? Yeah, it was for the Bills. Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, because he got hurt, he literally played one game and he got hurt, and he's done for the season. So he had 12 rushes for negative 3 yards.
I'm still down.
That was the year before we took off. So credit Reggie Bush for getting us back to the playoffs.
Question 15. What is the record for red cards given in a single soccer game? I like how it doesn't tell you what kind of soccer game.
I have a gut feeling, and I may be wrong on this, so I'm gonna do my math here, but I think it's usually it's 2, 3, 3. So there's 12.
There's 11. There's
11 people on the field, right? So I'm saying it's 24. I guarantee the whole team, both teams did, plus a sub. Everybody on the field got a red card. I bet as a scrum, people were.
I'm just for the memes. I'm going 36. I'm saying they kicked everybody out.
The benches too. That's
benches cleared. Yeah. I'm going all. All right. Yeah. 24. 36. Yes.
All right, he's back in at 6-5. So wow, he's world record in a single match. Claypool versus Victoriano.
Every substitute in some technical staff, even the technical staff.
The technical staff, he sent off all 22 players. It was a brawl. I was right. So it was just the bigger brawl. Yeah, okay, that's fair. All right.
Who would have guessed the technical staff would have got involved? What? I really want to go back now and look this up and see what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So it is now 6-5. I'm back down by 1 point. Question 16. Which tennis player won 470 consecutive matches?
That's you, I believe, right?
This is me. I'm going to go with Billie Jean King.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Billie Jean King. I'm going to go with Billie Jean as well. Of course, I don't know any of the other ones, so Esther, the wheelchair. God, come on, these questions. God, it's not even they're Paralympics. So he won 42 grand. Oh my goodness.
I'm glad we're only doing 2 rounds of this because I don't know if I can take much more. Question 17. What NFL player debuted as a professional wrestler in 2004?
This is me.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think 2004.
Was Junior Seau? Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah, so I don't think it would have been him. Mike Ditka maybe could have just showed up and done something and be considered. My gut is telling me that Brian Urlacher did, because I think this is roughly around the time where the Bears were getting kind of good. I think they went to the Super Bowl 2007? I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I'm gonna go Brian Urlacher.
I'm gonna go Ray Lewis. Oh, I would be wrong.
He was He was made a pro wrestling appearance in 2004 when the Chicago Bears. They forced him to quit.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm down 8-5. Question 18. At the 2000 Summer Paralympics, how many members of the gold medal winning Spanish basketball team were later found to have no disability?
I could honestly, knowing the Spaniards, I could see them, they really want to win in basketball, because they keep getting beat by the U.S. in regular basketball. I could see it being 10.
I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
But you're probably
I just have a gut feeling. 10 of the 12 had no disability. Yeah.
Well, now I'm just throwing.
All right. Yeah. Now I'm up by 5 points. It's 8-4 or 8 or 8-3.
8-5.
8-5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I lost track. All I know is I'm up. So
You're up.
I just got to get one of these last questions right.
What is the only country to have won medals in the Winter Olympics but not the Summer Olympics? Well, we know one of them is incorrect right off the bat.
I actually know 2 of them that aren't correct. But you're going first, so I unfortunately will tell you after you guess. So I hope you guess one of them that is not correct. That is definitely not true.
Will. I'm going to go Estonia.
Estonia won a Summer Olympic. I think that would be Liechtenstein.
Fuck.
Alpine skiers, baby. Liechtenstein. I knew Estonia won a Summer Olympic. All right. Well,
this now I'm frustrated.
Bragging rights here. Just get this one right, okay?
All right. Question 20, and our last question of the day. I'm tired of losing. How many world records did swimmer Mark Spitz set when he won 7 gold medals at the 1972 Olympics? You're first.
I'm gonna go 5. I don't think he set them at all 7 events, but I know that he was really dominant that year, so I'm gonna go 5.
I'm going 7. Might as well go all the way out.
Broke every record, and it could be right. You very well could be correct.
All right,
it'd be impressive. Yep. Sure enough, he won everyone with a world record. That's something that's never going to ever be matched. So in my opinion, the 7 for 7, definitely not. Obviously, his record for gold medals in a Olympics got broken, but that was because of the team events and everything. So,
all right. So the final score was 10-7.
Was it? Let's see. I got 2, 4. And just right there, I got number 9, number 8 right. I got that one right. That's 6. I think you're shortchanging me points, but keep going. We both missed that one. 6. I got 6 points right now. And then
I got this one correct.
You got that one right. So 6-2.
We both missed this one.
Yep.
We both missed this one.
Yep.
I
got that one right. 8.
And we both got this one.
Yeah, so that's 10. It's 10-2 right now. I only have 10 points, and then I got 2 points in the last round, right? It was 2-1, right? Or did we? What was it in the last one? I don't know. It's fine. Moral of the story is I'm 1-0.
Yeah, he beat me.
I'm 1-0 I'm 1-0 in Friday trivia.
Oh, you know what, David? You know what we're gonna do next time?
Esports trivia.
Esports.
To catch us next Friday for all of your esports question desires. But I think right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We'll look forward to a really fun weekend of college football, as well as an entertaining rest of the World Series. Hopefully, the Rays get it done because nobody likes the Dodgers. With that being said, we'll see you next time. Peace.
It's been real. It's been fun. But has it been real fun? I don't know.
I mean, it is when you get like 14 points in trivia.
Okay. Now on that note, we're definitely
I'll
leaving.
see you guys.